I'm Lisa from Piano Video Lessons, and welcome to Lesson 10 of our note reading course. We've already learned all of the white keys, and now in this lesson we're going to start to learn the sharps. In part 1, we're going to learn basic sharps for the entire grand staff, and in part 2, we're going to learn the white key sharps. Yes, there are sharps on white keys. We're going to practice using the NoteRush app and also our PDF workbook. Let's get started. All right, so looking to our workbook, the first thing that we see is this symbol for a sharp. So a sharp looks like a hashtag, and it indicates that we're going to raise the pitch of a note by a half step or a semitone. So when you're looking for half steps or semitones, it's really helpful to look across the backs of the keys. So I've got a little image here that shows you the backs of these keys and how we can move from one key to the very next key without skipping over any keys. So if I go from F to F sharp, or this black key, then we've only moved the smallest distance across here. Then we can go up another half step. So these are all moving by half steps. And then here, when I get to B, there's a half step that takes me to another white key. So sometimes you'll see this half step that moves from white key to white key. So in this part of the lesson, we're going to focus on the sharps that move to black keys. So we don't name the black keys with their own names. We have letters that represent all of the white keys, and we name the black keys by referencing the nearby white keys. So for example, we know this note is F. And if we go up a half step, like a sharp tells us to do, then we land on another black key, or on a black key, right here. And this is F sharp. So we can just label it here above. We've got F and F sharp. Then we have G and G sharp. So in this lesson, every time we see a note with a sharp, we're going to think a half step higher, and in this part of the lesson, that's always going to be a black key. Now you'll notice when I get to B that we have no black key if I move up and to the right. So raising the pitch a half step is going to take me from the note B up a half step to B sharp. All right, so this is part 2 in the workbook, where we're going to start to think about these more difficult sharps that take us to a white key. We've raised the pitch a half step, but we write it as the note below. So hold your horses. Let's look ahead here and see what's coming up. So for our first NoteRush drill and our first workbook exercises, we're focusing just on the black keys that are sharps. So every black key named from the letter that's one note below it. So this black key, we'll name it as G sharp. And so moving up from G to G sharp. Now, my little app down here is also pointing. Where can I point at it? There we go. Right here. You can see G is going to, I said G sharp, and it's telling you something else. So we're going to learn about that in the next lesson. Here we have F. You can see it down here, going up to F sharp. So in this first part, our QR codes are going to take us into lessons that involve just black key sharps. So we have the treble clef sharps, the bass clef sharps, so if you want to practice them separately, and the entire grand staff of sharps. Then we also have a lesson which includes all of the black key sharps and all of the white keys that we've learned in lessons 1 through 9. So that's a very big review. It includes 50 notes. All right, so I'll just give you a quick demonstration here using the grand staff sharps. This is the third NoteRush drill. All right, so we're going to load the drill. We're going to tap the big yellow play button in the bottom, and then we're going to calibrate the instrument by tapping the play button one more time and playing C sharp. And now we have a sharp up here, so we have C, but it's raised up to a black key. Then we are going down here, D, and it's raised up to a sharp. Here we have C, raised up to a sharp, and D, raised up to a sharp, C, raised up, low C, raised up to a sharp, D sharp, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. I'm going to stop now. If you don't already know your white keys, I recommend going back to lesson 9 where we review all of them, or if you're struggling with some of those notes that are up in higher ranges, then look at the ledger line lesson, and also maybe the lesson it's listening to me talk. Pause. You can listen. You can check out the lessons that include the higher and lower landmark notes in the treble and bass staff. So let's hop back over to our workbook where we can do some pencil practice because some of us enjoy that. All right, so here we have the workbook pages for some pencil practice with sharps. So the first one says to draw a sharp in front of the note and then name them. So the first two have sharps written in front of them already. We have G sharp and then we have F sharp. So now we're going to be drawing our own sharps, and it's important to place the sharp properly. So we're going to place the sharp so that the little middle window of the sharp is in the same area as the note. So this note is in space number 2, and so we want to make sure that our sharp is also in space number 2. You see that now? Looking at this next note, it's a line note, so I'm going to make sure that the middle window of my sharp is around that line. So I'll go down, and then up and up. All right, so I guess technically the second line of the down should be a little bit taller than this first one, and then up and up. All right, so we can practice drawing sharps in front of the notes. Then when we name the note, we put the sharp afterwards. So we'll call this note A sharp, but we'll write it as sharp A. So the sharp is in front of the note in the music. That's just so that when you're playing, you know to make sure to play a black key or a sharp. So we can continue here with D sharp. Again, when we name the notes, we place the answer after the letter. When we put it on the music, we put it in front of the note. All right, so there's some more practice that you can do in here, naming and drawing the notes with sharps. And then we move into these activities that are going to be using the sharps that are also on white keys. So let's just have a look right in here. Not all of these notes will be white key sharps, but some of them will. So again, we're going to be putting a sharp in front of the note and then naming the note. So here we have one that's familiar. This G sharp is a regular black key G raised up to sharp, but this very next one is E. And if we make E sharp, we have to step up a half step or a semitone, and that takes us to the note F. So this is E sharp, but it is a white key. The lesson also says to circle the white key sharps. So here we have E sharp. So then let's put a sharp in front of the C and name it. Here's another white key sharp. This one is E sharp. So we'll circle that one. All right, next one is B. Also B sharp is a white key. So let's investigate that. Here we have B. We go up a half step. That takes us to the note C, which is a white key. So we'll circle that one. All right, so these lessons include white key sharps, and again, we're just going to keep on practicing those, and then we're going to come back to lesson number 11, which is flats. So in this lesson, we have 1, 2, plus 4 note rush drills, right? You can practice your note rush with just treble clef sharps or bass clef sharps, with grand staff sharps, that's the entire treble and bass, or just review all of the notes from the very beginning, including those white keys from lesson 9. And then we also have an activity that includes all of the sharps, even the white key sharps, and then another lesson that reviews including the white notes. Now this one has 60 different notes. So let's go ahead and try this activity, which includes playing white key sharps. I'll go ahead and load the drill. All right, so this is what it looks like. You can see that every note has a sharp in front of it, including some that will take us to white keys. So press this yellow play button, and again, C sharp. All right, G sharp is black. C sharp is black. D sharp is black. D sharp again. Here we have B sharp and D sharp, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, here's B sharp, C sharp, E sharp, F sharp, A sharp, B sharp, G sharp, C sharp, E sharp, and we'll stop there. You get the idea. So go ahead and practice your notes using the Note Rush app. You can get it at the Play Store or the App Store if you don't have it already. The QR codes are available at pianovideolessons.com/NoteRush, and you can also get the workbook there. So practice your sharps and then come on back for lesson 11, where we're going to work on flats.